Hello, my name is Rachel and welcome to my channel. It's lovely to have you here today. Our session is going to be Pilates for pelvic floor health. We are going to be on the floor, so do make sure you've got a nice comfy mat to lie on. That's all you're going to need. So get yourselves ready and I'll see you in a moment. So today we're going to talk about a very delicate subject for many people, especially a lot of women that I've worked with, and that's the health of your pelvic floor. So for a lot of women, they do find that they lose that connection to the pelvic floor. It can be through many things, medical reasons, it can be through childbirth, it can be through menopause and aging. And what I'm going to give you today is a few very simple, very effective exercises to reconnect and start to strengthen those pelvic floor muscles. All right, so very important today. You want to be really patient with yourself. This isn't about doing a big workout. This is about really feeling the work. Okay, so let us begin. I want you to start lying down. You're going to have your knees bent and your feet hip width apart. All right, and what I want you to do is just start by relaxing the body. So we're just going to get ourselves into a nice relaxed place so we can focus on this movement without worrying about it. All right, so what I want you to do is close your eyes for a moment and let's just think about how we're feeling that connection to the floor, to the mat underneath us. Okay, so I want you to think about just tucking your chin slightly, elongating the back of the neck, feeling the back of the head on the mat. And then working your way down, you're feeling your shoulder blades on the mat. And then just keep breathing naturally, whatever feels good for you. Think of the rib cage getting a little heavier. So you can feel the back of the rib cage on the mat. You can feel your body starting to relax. And then feeling the back of the pelvis on the mat. And finally feeling those feet on the mat there connecting to the floor. Now you can keep your eyes closed if that helps you focus, or you can open them now, just keep them nice and soft. And what I want you to do is put your hands around your bottom and find your sit bones. Okay, so they're just around the bottom there. All right, I want you to see, you might not be able to feel them too strongly, but I want you to just find that area. It's right on your bottom where your sit bones are. And I'm going to give you a visualization technique which is going to really help find these connections to the pelvic floor. So I want you to breathe in, or imagine you're breathing in through the area between the sit bones. So take a long deep breath in, drawing that air in through the sit bones. And as you breathe out, I want you to visualize the sit bones moving towards each other. So like they're moving inwards. All right. We're going to try that again. So we're inhaling, feeling the air drawing in between the sit bones. And then as you exhale through the mouth, you feel those sit bones coming towards each other. So the idea is we're trying to feel some kind of movement in the muscles down in the pelvic floor. And again, so imagine you're drawing the air in between the sit bones. And as you breathe out, feeling those sit bones coming back towards each other. All right, now I just want you to keep that going. All right, so keep the breathing going, keep that visualization going. And just try and relax. Don't worry if you can't feel anything yet, it will come in time. And for a lot of women, they find that they've lost this connection and it takes a little while to reconnect. So I don't want you to worry about a thing. All right, just keep the breathing going, keep that visualization going. So inhaling, imagining that air drawing in between the sit bones. And as you breathe out, feeling those sit bones trying to move towards each other. All right, so what's important about this is not to try and feel a big movement. It's just to try and look for those little subtle cues, those little feelings of connection down in the pelvic floor. Okay, so that's technique number one. Now we're going to the next section, which is to bring your hands onto your hip bone. So that's the front of the pelvis here. And just rest the hands there. So you want to feel those hip bones where they are. Okay. Now we're going to do the breathing again, but we're going to change the out breath. So when you breathe out this time, I want you to imagine as if your hip bones were moving inwards towards each other. Okay, so we're going to keep the same visualization. So we're inhaling through the sit bones. And as you exhale, you're feeling your hip bones moving towards each other. Now, obviously, they won't really move, but the idea is you're using this visual technique to try and find the connections in the muscles here. So I know you're not seeing a lot, so I want you just to think of that visualization. So take a breath in. And then breathing out, feel those hip bones moving towards each other. And as you do, you might find you start to flatten out here on your lower abdomen. And if you are, that's fantastic. That's those muscles starting to work. So take a deep breath in. And then as you breathe out, feel those hip bones moving towards each other. Let's do this for a few moments. So deep breath in. And out. Deep breath in. And out. And one more deep breath in. And out. All right, so we're going to do the third part of this movement now, which is to bring the hands up to the ribs. We've got the hands resting on the front of the rib cage. And again, this is all about visualization to help find the connection, okay? So you're going to breathe in same way in between those sit bones. And as you breathe out, I want you to draw the ribs towards each other. So it's like they're moving inwards, almost as if they were going to knit together, okay? So taking a deep breath in through the sit bones. And then you're going to breathe out. Ribs are coming towards each other. That's it, good. So inhaling. And exhaling. Now I know you can't see very much going on in my body, but I want you to try and feel it in your own body. That's what's important here. So visualizing the air drawing in through the sit bones. And then as you exhale through the mouth, you're feeling your ribs coming towards each other. Let's do that for a few moments. Inhaling. And exhaling. And deep breath in. And exhale, feel those ribs coming towards each other. And one more deep breath in. And exhale. Okay, so we've got those 3 techniques now. We're going to put them all together. Okay, so you're going to take a breath in, and then you're going to breathe out, and you're going to feel your sit bones coming towards each other, your hip bones coming towards each other, and your ribs coming towards each other. Okay? So you can have your hands wherever you want. I like to rest them on my ribs, but whatever feels good for you. Taking a deep breath in through the sit bones. And as we breathe out, let's draw those sit bones towards each other, the hip bones towards each other, and the ribs. It's like you feel the whole body, all the fascia, all the muscles coming inwards and slightly up as well. So taking a breath in. And as you breathe out, sit bones moving towards each other, hip bones moving towards each other, and ribs moving towards each other. It's quite a challenge, isn't it, when you really connect deeply like this? So just keep that going in your own time, taking a breath in, breathing out, sit bones, hip bones, and ribs moving in. Deep breath in. Sit bones, hip bones, and ribs moving in. Now I want you to keep that breath pattern going, but have your hands down by your side. Good. Deep breath in. And sit bones, hip bones, and ribs. Now we're going to add a little bit of movement, but try and keep this breath pattern going. So you're going to take a deep breath in. You're going to exhale, sit bones, hip bones, ribs, but add onto it a little tilt of the pelvis, trying to keep that connection. And then bringing the pelvis back to the neutral position. So inhale through the sit bones. Exhale, closing the sit bones, the hip bones, the ribs, and adding a tilt of the pelvis. And then return, taking a breath in. Exhale, so feel the sit bones close, the hip bones, the ribs, and once you've got that connection, then you add the tilt, trying to hold the connection, and then coming back. And again, deep breath in. Exhale, hip bones, sit bones, ribs, and tilts. Good. And back. Let's do 2 more. Deep breath in. Exhale, sit bones, hip bones, ribs, and tilt. Trying to keep that connection. And return. And last one, deep breath in. Exhale, sit bones, hip bones, ribs, add the tilts. And return. Okay, now we're going to go up into the bridge position. We're going to try and use that same breathing technique, okay? So take a deep breath in. Exhale, closing the sit bones, the hip bones, the ribs. And now keep that closure. Tilt the pelvis. Try and hold that closure as you start to lift up. Holding it at the top. Take a breath in. Now closing the sit bones, the hip bones, the ribs, and coming all the way back down. Quite a challenge, I think, this one, isn't it? Taking a deep breath in. Let's repeat the process. So we're closing the sit bones, the hip bones, the ribs, and then tilting the pelvis. And then peeling up. You might be feeling this a little in your hamstrings. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, closing the sit bones, the hip bones, the ribs, and then coming down through the spine. All right, just two more because it can be quite intense, I know. Take a breath in. Exhale, closing the sit bones, the hips, the ribs, tilting the pelvis, keeping that closure as you peel up. Hopefully you're feeling connections through here. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, closing the sit bones, the hip bones, the ribs, and coming back down. Well done. From here, we're going to just lift the right leg up. Hand underneath, we're just going to release the hamstrings. Very important to release them if you have issues in the pelvic floor. So you're going to inhale to lower the foot. Exhale, extend and stretch. Inhale to lower. Exhale, extend and stretch. So don't worry about the breathing here. Just breathe in whichever way feels good for you. Okay, so we just want to release everything now through the hamstrings. Lower and extend. Lower and extend. Lower and extend. One more. Lower and extend. Now let's just flex the foot, holding it here, trying to not let your pelvis move. Just take some deep breaths in this position. Well done. Let's bring that leg down. Let's lift this leg up. Same thing on this side. So we're going to inhale to lower and exhale, lift and stretch. Inhale to lower. Exhale, lift and stretch. Inhale to lower. Exhale, lift and stretch. And one more, inhale to lower. Exhale, lift and stretch. Now I want you to flex that foot. Just holding it there. Well done. Bringing that leg down. And we're going to bring our hands back onto our hip bones. Okay? And we're just going to do a little exercise just to work all this area that we've been talking about today. Okay, now you've all done this exercise with me at some point before, but we're just going to apply this specific breathing technique. Okay, so keeping your hips level, you're going to inhale, visualizing the inhale coming through the pelvic floor, and you're going to open your right knee out to the side. Now as you exhale, I want you to close the sit bones, close the hip bones, close the ribs, and then bring that knee back into position. Let's go the other way. So inhale, visualize the inhale coming through the pelvic floor. Oh, little crack on my hip there. And exhale, closing the sit bones, the hip bones, the ribs, and bringing that knee back. So we're really intensifying that connection through here. Let's do that again. So inhale, knee opens to the right. Exhale, now think, close the sit bones, close the hip bones, close the ribs, bring that knee back. And same on the left, inhale, open. Exhale, closing the sit bones, the hip bones, the ribs, and come back. We're going to do it once more each side. Inhale, open. Exhale, closing the sit bones, the hip bones, the ribs, and return. Last one. Inhale, open. Exhale, closing the sit bones, hip bones, and ribs, and return. Well done. Bring your feet and knees together, roll onto your side, and we'll leave it there for today. So do let me know what you thought of that in the comments below. It's really important to get some feedback from you, because if you feel this is effective and it's working for you, there are a lot more exercises that I can give you to help you strengthen your pelvic floor. Think of this as a great routine to do before you do your regular Pilates sessions with me if you do have some dysfunction in your pelvic floor. All right, and don't forget, do press the like button and subscribe. Always good to hear from you as well. So take care and have a great day.